Hobby Table Collector's home. So today what we have here with us is opening of two items from the same people. This is one of our more favorable, Pristine Auction. Now when I say favorable is that yes, they do have some good items. I do like what we get. But also the downside of our favorite stuff is how they come. It's a 50-50 hit with all of them. Now I've always said that the main problem is their 8x10s when you purchase something and they ship them to you. Anyway, I have two items from them, two separate orders. One are two 8x10s and two prints up to about 16x20. So I'll give you a good overview of how they come in, those two different aspects of them, two different sizes. First one is the 8x10s. Now, as you can see, just like I always state, never do they state do not bend anywhere on here. And as you can see, yes, it's taken a beating, and it does have a bend in it right through here where it was kind of bent and kind of put into the box. They kind of folded it, put into the box. Now our post office person, when they make the delivery, yes, I know you think something like this, just bring it to the door anyway, but when it says do not bend, they always come to the door with it. And if it doesn't have it, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I guess it depends on how busy they are and what they got going on. They will just try to shove it in the box, and they will take a slight bend and put it in there. So in these, again, nothing stating do not bend. Now come on guys, you can pick them up with them pre-printed on there, do not bend. They do have those available. But as again, it's not on here. Now they used to have stickers and stuff on them, but they don't this time. So we're going to open this up real quick here. Now I can guarantee you that the way they did this is they had the 8x10 put into a, what I call those Avery brand sleeves, 3-ring binder, document, they're not even really a protector, they're just a holder. It's going to be in there, and on the outside of that, on the back of it, is going to be a piece of cardboard, generally that kind of gushy corrugated stuff that doesn't offer too much protection unless you use two of them and double stack it, one on the top, one on the bottom, and everything. But the way they do that is they only put the photo in that sleeve, put a loose piece of cardboard behind that, and then slide it in here. So you may get protection on the back, but not the top. Now, front and back protection, even if it still gets bent like this, like I said, it still can happen. It offers more protection, and it doesn't become as pliable because it's so thick. So when it takes a bend, it's not going to bend as much. Anyway, let's jump in here. And with them being two, I guarantee you they just stacked them on top of each other. Everything. So, pull them straight out. As you can see, single piece, stacked them. That's all it was. Most pieces, you can see where it took the bend. Now, if you had front and back, that would have offered more protection. So let's see what kind of damage, if any. So, first one, I don't know, it's maybe hard to see, but there's some bends right through there. And there's also one right across through here. Yeah, I can kind of see right through there. And right here at the bottom, so this corner took a bend. And again, looking at how that is, another layer of cardboard on top of that could have helped prevent that. And on this one, and I think you might be able to see a little better on here, but there's a bend right through here. It's hard to see, but there is a crease, and there's also a crease that goes through the bottom there. Like I said, it's kind of hard to see, but I'll try to get it. There you go. Right there. And it's right up. Well, that side's not too bad. There's another one right there. Right through there. So that is the 8x10s. It does have damage. They are both just put into a single sleeve, the Avery type sleeve. That's just a brand Avery, with a single piece of cardboard. Now if it had two of these, top and bottom, it may have withstood a little bit more and taken better onto that beating. You can see where that took the bend, and pretty much each of these creases, there's one right, each of those creases, I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, it matches the one on the photo. Now it's not too bad when you lay it out, mat it, photo, and frame it. You probably won't notice it, but it's the point that they could have put that in there, and 8x10s always do that. But bigger pieces, now this is up to 16x20. There's two pieces in here. One's 16x20, one's 11x17. Now, it is a lot more sturdy. But again, there is still no fragile or anything on there. But it still came good. So let's see how this one came out, how they package this, so you can see the differences between something that's a little larger as opposed to an 8x10, because it seems like it, well, I should say, it feels more like on the 8x10s, they just, oops, sorry, they just say, yeah, whatever, just shove it in here and we'll send it. Every time they see one of my videos or respond to it, they're always like, oh yeah, we'll look into it, but nothing ever changes. So you can see, so that did take a bit to open, 2 pieces. And again, there we are. And while we're at, big difference between the two on how they do that. So, no damages on these. That's the first one there. And the way they do these is they have them in a nice non-Avery, nice little adhesive one with a piece of cardboard back behind it that's a little sturdier than that other stuff and more to fit. Because a lot of times too, if it's bigger, they'll put it in something like this, that when the print's smaller than this and it will slide around, you can still get some very minor damage, but this one came out okay. I'm just doing a quick look at the edges, because if you've seen some of my past videos, you know that the way they do it is they would say C or high detailed images, high resolution images. They don't list any possible damages that pre-exist when they ship it out to you. But also sometimes too, they will have this and they'll have a white background. And now this is borderless, but they can have one that has a border, very mild light border. And because it's on a white background, you can't really tell. Like my last print, which was a Wizard of Oz one, there was no border on one side, and the other side had a border that just got smaller and smaller, and then went to no border to the edge. And on that one, too, they just said, well, this is just a stock image. Yours would be similar. That's how they cover their behinds on that one. That was the first one. And again, this one came in fully. And see, there's what I'm talking about, how if it's smaller, they put in something that will allow it to slide around. But this was packaged very well. No damage on it, and that's just a Greg Horn alien piece. Love that. And other than that, these came out perfectly. But you can see the difference, how they package it. Bigger pieces, tight-fitting plastic with a nice solid backer with bubble wrap around that on a thick, multiple folding shipper. 8x10s, Avery document sleeve, it's not even really 4 photos, with a single piece of corrugated, that's what I call, corrugated, it's very pliable. Behind it, it's not even on both of them, it's just one, like that one was on both of them, giving added stability. This is just one piece, and they're stacked on top of each other, put into that single envelope with no cautionaries like fragile or do not bend. 8x10s have a lot to be desired on their shipping. I always, and a lot of other businesses, even businesses that use these, have multiple pieces behind it, front, back, and they even go far as to the excess, to tape the excess, and what that does is it keeps it from sliding around. They don't never do that on that one. So that's what we have on that. Like I said, this was more of their showing their shipping, not so much of what the images and the pieces were. Like I said, though, big difference on how they come. And you really have to examine them when you get them to make sure, as I mentioned, there may be differences from what they show you, because sometimes they will just say see high resolute images because they don't list damages pre-existing. Sometimes they do, will say see description, or they will just have this is a stock image. It will be similar, and they will send you one that's all jacked up from what they sent you. And these ones too have these pieces. Always look out for that. Yes, as they state, and some collectors state too, it's more of just a side piece. You really don't need it, because if you go to the website and look it up, it'll give you all the information. However, on the auction, when they say it comes with the sticker and the card, I expect that because that's what they listed. So if it didn't have it, don't list it. That's the whole point of having a description. It's not getting what you're selling, basically. And they do that quite frequently. Now, I don't know if they just don't have it or just throw it in, forget to put it in, but either way. And then sometimes they will say, hey, we'll send you a shipping label. We'll get it re-authenticated and get you the card. They did that to me once. It went from JSA to Beckett, and when they sent it back with that Beckett, they didn't have a card with that. And this was before it had the scannable label. And it received more damage through the shipment, and it became just a horrible, messed up, damaged, worthless piece that I wouldn't even post up there anywhere for display or anything because it was so bad. But anyway, thanks guys. I know this is 10 minutes, but I was trying to go shorter, but Pristine Auction. Nice items, good prices if you catch it right because it's an auction base. Shipping, depends on what it is. 8x10s, you're basically, don't hold your breath for no damage. It's going to have some. Always. Almost every 8x10 I have has had that damage because of that. And if you do multiple winnings in a single purchase type thing within 1 week or 1 day, I had 2 8x10s along with an encased comic, an encapsulated comic book that was, signed and everything. And what they did is they had just like that, they had them stacked. They had the comic book stacked on top of it, no protection really in between it or on top of it. And through the mailing, when it pressed down, not only did it crack and damage the case and the comic, because pieces of loose plastic got up in there and damaged the comic more, which degraded it, the casing actually damaged the photos it was sitting on top of. Lack of protection. Shipping on 8x10s within that. And they really, really need to work on that. Like I said, when they've seen these videos, sometimes I put comment back on, hey, thanks, we'll get up with them to make improvements. Through the years, zero improvements. It's always been the same. So just keep that in mind. If you're doing an 8x10, if you're getting from them, you have a high chance of it coming in with some damage ranging from mild to severe, but it will have some. So thanks a lot, guys, and have a few things on its way, different boxes, mystery boxes, some private signing stuff, companies I haven't really used too much, but keep an eye out for those, and until next time, happy collecting and safe collecting.
If you know of a business that you're curious about and would like us to check out, or if you have a business that you know of is really good and like to pass the word on, send it to us at info@thehobbytable.com. Again, that's info@thehobbytable.com.